Película.
We've got to decide who's running this, and we have to decide quickly.
It's terrorism. We'll take it.
Okay, I guess there must have been some hesitation on bringing this to screen. So what ultimately made you say, yes, we need to put this on screen?
Well, obviously, you know, it's only happened 3 years now. But as I started thinking about it and kind of going back and forth, I realized in a short amount of time, so many other horrific things have happened, and that it's not that it's too soon, it's not soon enough, this message of love and unity and people coming together, and then also having an enormous amount of pride and appreciation for how the people in Boston reacted, and it's an important message that needs to be seen and heard.
Clock is ticking. The world is watching.
The suspect seen on the surveillance cameras. 2 bombers.
We gotta find these guys before they do this to someone else.
When it comes to telling a story like this, which are the challenges and the limits? Because in the end, it's a story that a lot of people lived, and it was painful for a lot of people. So while making a film like this, which are the places you know you should not go and you should go?
I mean, that's a good question, and you're making a film about where there's death and there's injury and there's a lot of pain, and we're talking to the people who really went through that every day, and what we generally say to them was, we believe there's a line. You know, you can call it a line of respect, a line of taste, a line of class. It's hard to always define what that line is, but you kind of know if you've crossed it. And Mark and I both said, look, we will do everything we can to not cross that line, to respect your experience and to honor your experience. And we'll make sure you get to see the movie early on. And if you have a real problem, and we said this to hundreds of members of Boston, and you feel that we have crossed that line, well, then we'll talk about it.
We can't have our citizens on the streets with all these threats. Every inch of this city is getting searched. We're shutting it down.
Talking about tragedy, do you think there's something good that can come out of this tragedy? Because I think that's a great thing about this film, that it kind of shows that it might be a not so bad side to it.
Well, I don't think you can certainly. I think that obviously the pain that the victims feel is never going to go away, and certainly making a film about it is not going to ease that pain. But I think you saw in Boston the same thing that you saw in New York after 9/11, and probably in Paris as well, is that in these kind of tragic situations, you would sometimes think that it would polarize people, but it actually tends to kind of bring people together and to have this kind of common bond that exists. In this case, it was the bond of the city trying to find these 2 guys and stop them.
I mean, lives were lost, obviously, and people were maimed, and not just physically, but there was a horrible effect on many lives. But yeah, there's a positive. Anybody that I spoke to directly who was affected by this, is looking at the sort of opportunities for growth and for finding positivity and finding, love in this whole disaster.
Are there more bombs?
I want a lawyer.
No.
No, I have rights.
You ain't got shit, sweetheart.
Talking about your character, which is such an important part of this story, while preparing it, what was the biggest lesson you've got from him that you might apply in your life after walking out of this film?
We created a composite character of basically based on 3 police officers and their involvement there in different aspects of from the finish line, the actual bombing, to the investigation, and then the ultimate capture of the younger brother, Joe Carr. So, I continue to learn and be inspired by people, especially people who are the survivors and the victims and their families, and how strong they are, and yet how positive they are, and how much love they continue to project.
I don't think there's any way that they can ever win.
Película.